So today I was thinking about the Ford EcoSport. I know pretty much nobody in the entire history of the Earth has actually thought about that vehicle, but it comes with a three-cylinder engine, or at least you can get it with a three-cylinder, 1 liter turbo. And it's not particularly powerful or interesting, but why don't we make a super powerful three-cylinder engine? Why not? Last week I made this 12,261.3 horsepower V16. It is a 23 liter V16, and I challenged people to try to beat me. I saw a couple of people post in the comments that making it smaller actually makes it more powerful because our limit with this engine was actually torque. We were making so much torque that it was breaking all the components and we couldn't get any more power. So it turns out that a 12 liter V16 is actually more powerful than a 23 liter V16. Who would have thought? But today I'm cloning my mini key van because I want to see if we can put a massive i3 into it. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun to max out an i3. One of the things I was thinking about is that the V16 DLC, which is what I was using to make the last car, not everybody has that, so let's do an engine that everybody does have, and that is the i3. Now this thing currently has a 900cc inline 3 that makes 37.5 horsepower. That's really not bad for a 900cc engine, and for a key vehicle, or K, I've always said key, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. Some people care. I do not. This is not a particularly fast vehicle. Let's make it ridiculously fast. Inline 3. Yes, please. So, okay. We're going to start off by making it basically the largest size that it can be, except it ain't gonna fit. Okay, so I may have gone ahead and absolutely butchered the K truck in order to make this work, but we now have a 4-liter inline 3, and that is thanks to switching it to a different body entirely, and the body looks different because it's a pickup truck. It tried to bring over the fixtures, and it did some things. We'll have to readjust them to make it look better, but still, little pickup truck, tons of power. This is going to be a good combo. Okay, inline 3 made out of magnesium. We're going for the largest size we can get for now, but I'll change it if necessary. I was able to get more power with VVL last time, so I'm going to go overhead cam, dual overhead cam in fact, with 4 valves per cylinder. Now, I know some people were screaming at me before that I believe it was the Forged Heavy are actually better than the titanium, but the way that I'm basing this is off of this little sort of chart that comes up here, and you can see the green that they're the same. So if we go here, then it's the same. So titanium should theoretically be better, and we're going to do the same thing here. There are some areas where switching to a different type can actually be a benefit, even as further up in the list. Usually the things at the bottom of the lists are the best, but in this case, for example, Forged Light is extremely good at RPM, Forged Heavy is very good at torque, so that's why it's green there. So if we want more torque, we go Forged Heavy. If we want more RPM, we go Forged Light. Now these materials do have hidden things as well. I'm currently going for heavy components, except for the pistons in that case, but we'll have to see if torque is really the limiting factor. I am going for a big boy turbo. The engine currently does not work, by the way, it just explodes, but it does make 100 horsepower. I have no idea what to expect with this. I don't think I've ever maxed out an i3 in this game before, and if I do, I just forgot, but it's alright. This is going to be pretty darn cool by the end of it, I think. We need to change the fuel, and that's going to make a big difference. I'm going to keep the ethanol blend stuff that I was doing before. We're going to run E100 and keep the quality up too. I almost forgot to change the sandbox tech pool, but I just went and updated it all to plus 15, so it should be good. Turbo size, by the way, gigantic. It's probably going to end up being bigger than the block. So, running exhaust, we're going to go turbo race because, of course, absolutely zero mufflers or anything like that. We do not need those. Our exhaust is currently 8 inches. That's 200 mil. That's pretty darn massive, but yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, so we're struggling a lot right out of the gate. Our RPM reliability threshold is ridiculously low. We definitely need to do better than that. Our torque is pretty low as well, so I'm curious to see how much this changes. Oh yeah, see now we make 600 horsepower, but now we have terrible piston reliability. Moving that all the way up, we do get better RPM threshold, but it's still not ideal. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, it's set for 12,000 RPM, which is ridiculous, so we're going to lower that down We definitely don't need to be that crazy about it. Let's try like 6,000 to start. So we're running into the same issue again where the RPM is just not enough for the conrods if you go with heavy pistons. Unfortunately, if I go light pistons, then we are making too much torque for those pistons. So we might be in another one of those situations where in order to make maximum power, you actually have to shrink the engine in order to not lose, well, we don't want torque basically. Okay, so interestingly, if you look at this stuff up here, torque reliability threshold currently 1689 for the conrods, and then RPM is 5600. Dropping to forged heavy, we can go up to 2000, so it is better even though the tooltip doesn't say that it's better, so the tooltip is wrong, but the conrod strength at high RPM does drop by 700 RPM. So theoretically, if we want to go for a much lower RPM engine, which we might in this case, it might be best to just go with the heavy components and then just see what happens. Okay, so we're kind of stuck at 4,700 RPM with this sort of setup. All of this stuff is just whatever, we'll just ignore that. But with the springs and lifters maxed and cam profile and stuff as they are, I'm curious to see if it'll be able to AI tune. It was not able to last time, so this is already a plus. 400 horsepower? Oh my goodness, the game screwed me. We're going back up. So at one point I had like 1,000 horsepower, but we're gonna get darn close to reliability threshold issues at this point. If we stick with this, I'm just not super sure what I want to do to combat this issue. However, at this point we may as well just try to make as much power as humanly possible and ignore the conrods and the crank and pretty much focus on stress. So our issue is going to be pistons. 1,882 Newton meters is the maximum amount of torque that they're going to be able to make without having issues here. But who cares? At that point, we can probably triple this and still be good. So let's try and triple it. Basically, I've gone through and easy way to see what's going on. Like our exhaust is a little bit restrictive. We can increase the size of it and make more power. Header size, same thing, increase the size and make them big. More power is always good, and then now just turbo stuff. Yeah, our intake manifold is way too restrictive. I need to increase the size of this thing. Max size, please. 777, very nice. So now if we go to aspiration, we can increase the size of the intercooler, hopefully gain power out of that. I'm just going to set this for a lofty goal of like 2,200, I don't know about that. But the next thing on the list is obviously turbo size. Increasing it probably means more power. It might mean a lot of other things too. Okay, that's 1,037, and power reliability reduction. We're only really reliable up to 400 horsepower, which is insane. And now we are about to triple that. Almost. Quick check, turbine, maybe a little bit restrictive, compressor, but this is as big as they get, so like there's nothing else we can do. And we're starting to peak into piston reliability issues. That's what I like to see. Increase that power, please and thank you. It's gonna get dark real quick here. Oh my goodness. 1,585.1 horsepower, and we are nearly toast. Unfortunately, that's the strongest pistons that we can get in an i3, so is that it? Like, is this as good as I can do? 1,585 horsepower. I mean, we can get a little bit more and get that up to like negative 99%. But if it goes to 100, we're basically screwed. Out of curiosity, I've shrunk the engine down to 3.7 liters, and the piston reliability threshold does not change. This is 2.9 liters. Same thing, piston reliability is the same. So there's nothing that I can do to make that better. That's a limiting factor now, so we just can't get stronger pistons, and that's the best that we can do. You can see here the power limit is actually in red on the side of this little chart here. And currently, the highest power limit we can get on the Forged Light, as an example, is 700, but on the Forged Heavy, it's 1,300. And that is all we can do. That's the best one of them. And so, awkwardly, I think that actually concludes this. I didn't think it was going to be that easy, but we have hit the max, or nearly max. Well, we may as well just max it out. Literally 2 ticks down on the exhaust, and this thing explodes. There we go. That's as good as we can do. Okay, 1,585.4 horsepower out of a big turbo inline 3. Now, how good is this going to be in the actual vehicle, though? That's going to be interesting. Just in case you wanted to hear this thing real quick in game, I mean, we're going to hear it in BeamNG a little later, but let's give her a start. Oh, she choppy. Oh boy. Let me give some of that throttle. Oh. It doesn't sound good, man. There's something wrong with this thing. Oh, the engine actually moves on the stand. Nah, that's cool. I don't think I've seen that before. Okay, let's do a pull. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a tractor. That's there's no other way to say it. This is half of an inline six. Inline six being pretty much the best balanced engine you can get without just doubling that length. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not well balanced. I love it when it says the engine's reliability is too low to sell. It makes my heart warm. I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the fixtures on this thing because they're a little bit all over the place. I'm also going to give it a new color because, yeah, it just needs one. 1 liter, that's not even true anymore. It's a 4.2 liter big block. Canadian torque, baby. This thing makes way too much. I love how the intercooler is sticking out so significantly. I feel like I'm going to have to do something about that. Okay, that is a lot cleaner and theoretically at least a lot nicer. The color is awful though, so I'm going to quickly fix that. And I think we can move on. It doesn't need to be pretty. That looks significantly better. Let's try and make it so this thing will actually drive, because at the moment it's not going to drive very well. Let's just be honest. This is pretty awful. We're going all-wheel drive. First of all, last time I made the mistake of going sequential. This time I'm going dual clutch. I think 6-speed is probably enough. Let's increase this to the max and just kind of see where we end up. 299 is about the top speed, so we'll lower this back down a little bit. 3.5 from 0 to 100, that is pretty ridiculous. Electric LSD should help out as well, although that didn't increase our top speed or anything like that. It is a front engine car, I believe. Let's increase the quality. That should do something. Oh yeah, that did. It's front engine, but the weight is currently all on the front, so I'll probably go more power to the front, less power to the rear. It's going to be mostly front wheel drive. Put it on drag tires and 3 seconds is 0 to 100. That is ridiculous. Obviously this car has a mountain of horsepower and it needs larger wheels. So I'm going to go 225, so that might screw some stuff up. So it's all-wheel drive, so it's going to have a square wheel setup with the drag tires, which is going to be so much fun. But we got 275, and that is wide on this vehicle. We'll give it as much offset as it can get, and everything else is looking pretty fine. The car has rolled over during testing. Oh my goodness. That's something I've never seen before in this game. I was just going over to raise the top speed because now that we have everything set up, it's going to drive a lot better. This is not good, by the way. Just ignore that. Let's... Oh, wow. Such a simple, lovely graph. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we'll just ignore that. But everything else is looking pretty fine. The brakes are not even close to strong enough, but who cares? I actually gave it downforce because I thought that might help. It only weighs... I mean, it's not actually that light. It's 1,361 kilos. We could probably cut some weight out of it. Let's do... Well, this is just not good as is, so we should probably try to increase the sportiness of this thing as much as possible. Active sport suspension is probably going to be the best. And it is, with a race preset. Will it still roll over? No, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. She slammed. Oh, and I missed a piece. I don't even care how it drives anymore. This thing is just mint looking. And it's not just because of the color. That drivability is 99.7%. I would definitely drive this if given the opportunity. Let's take it into BeamNG and see how it does. Keep in mind we do have 1,585 horsepower with a little bit too much torque for the pistons at least. Alright, here we are in BeamNG. I haven't actually done anything yet. I have not even tried to rev it to see if it does anything. But we can always try to fix it or swap it for an electric engine in this game if it doesn't work. That's one of the benefits of new BeamNG stuff. I love these updates. But Yeah, so just a word of warning, BeamNG does downgrade your horsepower a little bit. You don't get the same that you do in automation, but it's not that far off. So with that in mind, let's accelerate. Honestly, that's nowhere near as brutal as I thought it was going to be. Maybe it's geared a little bit too long. I mean, it's got 6 speeds, so we're pretty close to the end. This is speed 5 here. It's very stable and very controllable even at 300 kilometers an hour. Or, well, it says it's doing 300, but it's not. Nearly 300 kilometers an hour, let's say. And you're driving a K car. Yikes. Yeah, it'll do 278, which is not as much as it said it was going to do in automation. It's not necessarily slow, it's just not as fast as it could be. I think something might be killing our speed a little bit, and that's probably the ESC. Oh yeah, it definitely was. It was cutting power in order to try and get us to be a little bit more stable. By the way, the front brakes on this are so strong because of the way I set it up. I mean, this is what automation wanted, but it kind of lunges forwards when you nail them. Oh man, she quick. I think slightly shorter gears would benefit it, but honestly, it's not that bad. Okay, maybe it is a bit of a Suzuki Samurai. Oh, that was unintentional. I was just going to drive over here to the drag strip. Now, I'm not so sure. This thing's a Widowmaker. Okay, just out of curiosity, big launch on the drag strip. Yeah, it's not really traction bound. I think the tires are good enough for it. It needs more power. Like, it's got really good torque. It's just not as fast as I thought it would be. We need 12,000 horsepower. We're only like 10% of the way there. But that's seemingly pretty close to the maximum power you can make with an i3. And that time I didn't really glitch it like I did with the V16, so I don't know. So just like I did last time, and I think I'm leaving a lot of room for help here, try to make the best i3 that you can in automation, the most powerful i3 that you possibly can, and then let me know in the comments what you're able to achieve. Keep in mind, I think I'm 1585, something like that, with a ridiculous amount of torque. I think you could probably do better than me if you take it and turn down the displacement a bit, and then hopefully decrease the torque, and then likely you're able to turn up the power, because the way that this engine is set up, it's not square, it's big bore, and it just makes it so you're pretty much stuck with a big torque engine. Also, I don't know what hit there, but that was very interesting. Let's try and do this goblet thing. I don't remember what these are actually called. I would just call it like the Endurodrome or something. But I think we have enough speed to be able to do it. I'm gonna have to go manual. Yeah, no, okay. We definitely don't have the right gearing to do it. We do have the right speed though. Do you think that if I turn this up slightly... Come on. Yes. Easy peasy. Physics. Yeah, this game's not that realistic, let's be real. So that leaves me with a... Oh, come on now. Well, that leaves me with a thought. I want to continue to do this series, so if you're interested, we'll move on next week to a different style engine, and whichever one I see more often in the comments is going to win. So what do you want to see? i4, i6, V10, V12? One of the ones that I haven't done already. And maybe, just maybe, your answer will get chosen, and you'll see it in the next video. Priority given to Patreon members and YouTube members as well. But thank you everybody for watching. I just wanted to say thank you for your support on the last video and this channel in general. Things have been going really good recently, and it's not because of my own work, it's weird YouTube algorithm stuff in the background, but it's encouraging and it's making me want to make more videos. So look forward to more stuff in the future, and yeah, more videos about this exact same topic next week. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. I'm going to be making more videos in this sort of power series, and I'm also going to be doing other stuff in automation, BeamNG and such, and other games too. But I'm excited to see what's to come, and hopefully you are as well. Until then, thank you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreons and also my YouTube members. My Patreon is $1 a month if you want to support me, and that's all that it's there for, is just extra support. And my YouTube membership stuff has a little bit more in it, but there's $1, $2, and $5, and these are the $5 tier V8s right now. So thank you to Overlord, G.A. Pope, Davis Heister, Goofy Plays, Baja Blast, Mancini Country, Shadow Jasper, and I Look Valheimo. Thank you for watching this video and also this channel. I appreciate you guys a lot, everybody in this list, and everybody who's watching in general. Yeah, more stuff to come, more interesting stuff too. I feel like the channel's kind of back after a bit of a hiatus on my part. I've just been so like ridiculously busy that I just don't have any time to do stuff, but I'm feeling better, and I'm hopeful that I'll be able to make more videos you guys like. Sorry for the tinny audio recently. I really hate that, but I'm trying to, like, we're moving soon, so there's no point in me outfitting this room for good audio. At this point, I'm kind of stuck, so yeah, sorry. That'll come back soon. It'll be good soon. So stick with me. See you guys again soon. Too many soons.